There you go, biking doggy. Huh? Talking about the Tenways here. Single speed. I'm going to tell you about the experience of riding this on dirt. And the reason why I'm talking about riding on dirt is because that's all we have where I live. I don't live in an urban sprawl. It's more of a rural paradise. And I go off-road. And this bike is awesome if you live in the city, I'm guessing. But for my needs, I'd like to see how this does as a gravel bike. What I will say about this bike so far is that we've been very much enjoying it on the streets, getting to and from friends and whatnot. And this is not your typical Chinese e-bike you see a lot of. This is nice. This is a higher quality. I love the attention to detail for, like I say, someone in the urban environment. But for us, we're gonna change it up a bit. The name of this channel is Build a Better Bike. I'm not sure if we'll make it better. We're definitely gonna make it more interesting, and it's definitely gonna be fun to ride on dirt, or at least that's my hope. Today, maybe not so much. Might be not quite the experience we want, but we are going to see what we want to replace. That's what we're going to see. So with that in mind, let's get going. Let's go, Ace. All right. Yeah, that gearing is a pretty hard ratio to pedal. So we're going to go ahead and push this motor up to the max. And this is belt driven, rear driven, of course. Oh yeah. Yeah, you can definitely feel the full rigidity. I'd love to have a squishy front on here. So the first thing I notice is that rear fender knocking all over the place and making all noise. Obviously, we'll get rid of that. I definitely didn't put the front fender on because I can't put it on my bike rack with a front fender. So, and I already kind of knew the fenders weren't going to work, but I like these grips. I'll just keep those, I'm sure. Smells nice little touch. Has a nice ring to it. Tektro brakes. See how it does. These narrow wheels on this loose stuff. It's not ideal. I'm gonna get some cyclocross tire on the rear. All right, I realize what's been making noise this whole time, and it's this. So when there's a fender, this is probably not an issue. As far as here, I don't know if I'm going to be able to find a dropper post to fit with this, which I know sounds weird for a gravel bike, but I think I'd prefer to have a... So those are changes I want to make. Also get some more platformy pedals, not these plastic guys. All right, here we go. Here's the real test. This is the steepest climb of my route here today. Let's see if the motor... Wow, actually... Wow, I mean, it's not that bad, actually. Huh. Okay. That motor did better than I thought with this gear ratio. But if it was technical at all, or more sustained, I could see still wanting a little bit easier of a time. So I think I still will adjust the gear ratio and see how I like it. I don't feel too secure on these plasticky pedals, especially with how full rigid this is and bouncing around I am. I need to either clip in or get some good grip. Those plastic pedals aren't going to cut it. But other than that, I mean, this isn't too bad. I thought it would be a lot worse than it is. This is actually really fun. This bike, out of box, will it gravel? You bet. But I'm me, and I want to mess with this and make it make it all a little bit better for what I want to do. I mean, I'd really love to see if I could get this to go on single track. Nothing too crazy, just your green trails, maybe a little bit, and we'll dabble with blue a little bit, but also with the geometry. I mean, you're really up in front of those bars, and I'm thinking that when I put a fork on it, which I plan to do, that'll boost everything up just a little bit and give me a little bit more confidence. Again, nothing crazy, just so I can do some green single track. That's all. I don't ask for much. As for the cockpit here, you know, everything's fine. I might go a little wider on the bars and obviously bring up the stem a little bit. I don't like the length of that stem and where it's going to be lower also. Go lower, or I guess I should say it's going to be higher. This geometry is going to push it up. That travel's going to push it up and slacken it out a little bit. So I'm going to go down with the stem and wider on the bars a little bit. Nothing crazy, but it's just still going to be a gravel bike at heart. It's not going to make this a mountain bike. But I love this interface. I like my little bell. Grips are great. I like these grips. Don't need to change those. I'm on the back. You gotta get rid of that fender, obviously. No need for that. Another thing I should mention that I really love about this bike is that if it dies, if you run out of motor and juice, I mean, because it's so light, you pretty much can pedal yourself back out of whatever and probably be fine. I just want a little easier time pedaling. Like, that ratio is really hard, which is great if you're in the streets of the city and going as fast as you can. But even up, see, I just turned it off. Even up this little hill, it's a bit of a slog for me. Good boy. Like this little zipper. I'll put links to this Alumo leaf. Zip it up and then hang it on your whatever. Hang it somewhere. Oh yeah, this is a great bike. It feels really good. I can't believe I can gravel bike straight out of box with this thing. I like it. Just needs just a tiny bit more cooch on the front for some of this chundery stuff. And a few other slight tweaks, and it's going to be great. Next time I see you, we'll be in the shop. With that traditional bottom bracket, the only way I could route a dropper cable is by drilling a hole, which isn't necessarily ideal, but I don't think it's too big of a problem in this case. Now I know I'm going to get some comments on the square taper bottom bracket and cranks. That might be something that I choose to change eventually, and I know that also would have allowed me to not drill a hole for the dropper if I had installed a dub bottom bracket instead. But I didn't want to go too crazy with the amount of money I was dumping into this build before I made sure that it's going to work for me long term. I may decide to upgrade these things in the future, but for now, I'm fine with the square taper and we'll make it work. I chose a RockShox Recon for the front fork. I know there are better forks out there, but we're on a budget here. But also, one thing I like about the Recon is that they still make it in 100mm non-boost, which I think is great for this gravel build. Where this is an experimental build, I'm not quite sure how much stack I'm going to need, so I made sure that we still have plenty of stem to work with so I can play with the stack height. The seat post diameter on this bike is 30.4 millimeters, which is a strange diameter, one that I haven't seen before. Maybe it's more common for gravel bikes. But because of that, I do have this old 27.2 KS dropper that will work with an adapter that I found on Amazon that will take it from a 27.2 to a 30.4 and work just great. this cyclocross tire from Michelin was a nice touch, I thought. I really liked the color and how it kind of offset with the blue we already had. It definitely makes it look unique, which I'm a fan of, and looks like it'll have just the right amount of grip. Never mind that the tread is going the wrong direction. I didn't catch that at the time, but I did catch it later before our first ride, so no need to let me know in the comments. Sometimes we make mistakes, but I did catch it before any catastrophic problems occurred, so no worries. I decided on a 46 tooth chain ring, the belt ring. That way I would get the torque I need for the hills. That also necessitates a smaller belt size, but I think it'll be worth it for those climbs. I really like this seat that shipped with the Tenways, and I'm just going to keep it on the bike. Feels nice on the butt. these pedals were on sale and look pretty cool. Like all the parts, I'll add a link to them in the description. So here it is in its full glory, and I have to say, I've really loved having this bike. I've ridden it a couple times. I haven't done a ride video, but I plan on posting one on my Patreon. So if you would like to get early access to these videos, as well as ad-free versions of them, and some extra content, like a ride video of the final product of this video, please subscribe to my Patreon. And in the meantime, thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you again real soon.